Hello, friends. Let's go on a tour. Did you ever hear about the story of the ghost of Jenny's house in Indonesia? Do you know the story of the Kennedy brothers? All this and more in today's episode. Wait for us after the intro. Jinji House is an old house in Surabaya, Indonesia, said to be haunted by the spirit of a young girl named Jinji. She was said to have died at home under mysterious circumstances, and since then, she has been seen wandering around the house at night. The house is located in a poor neighborhood in Surabaya and is said to have once been the home of a wealthy family. In 1970, Genji, a young girl, died at home under mysterious circumstances. Her body was never found, and her cause of death remains unknown. Since then, rumors began to spread that there was a ghost in the house. People are said to have seen a little girl dressed in white walking around the house at night. People are also said to have heard strange noises coming from the house, such as crying or screaming. In 2010, an investigation was conducted into the house by a team of spiritual astrologers. The team conducted light and acoustic studies of the house and claimed to have recorded evidence of a ghost. Since then, Genji House has become a popular destination for thrill-seeking tourists. Many night tours of the house are organized, and some tourists are said to have had paranormal experiences during their visit. Some common stories about the house of Genji. It was said that a man was walking near the house at night when he saw a little girl dressed in white standing in the upstairs window. When he approached her, she disappeared. A woman was said to be sleeping at home when she woke up to the sound of a little girl crying. She searched the house but didn't find anything. A group of friends were said to be spending the night at the house when they heard strange noises coming from the basement. When they went down to check, they found an open door to an unused room. When they entered the room, the door disappeared. There is no scientific evidence to support the presence of a ghost in Genji's house. However, persistent rumors about the house make it a popular destination for thrill-seeking tourists. All this is about Bait Jana. If you want more and a complete special episode for Bait Jana, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel and support it. Let's go to the story of the Kennedy brothers. The story of the Kennedy brothers is a true story about two teenage brothers in the United States who disappeared in a forest in 1957. Their bodies were found days later, horribly mutilated. The cause of their death is still unknown, but some people believe that she was killed by a supernatural entity. The Kennedy brothers, Barry and Brian, were 17 and 14 years old, respectively, when they disappeared into the woods in California on December 9, 1957. They were out for a walk in the woods with a group of friends, but got lost on their way back. Searches for the Kennedy brothers began 2 days after their disappearance. The searches continued for several weeks, and more than 1,000 people participated. On January 11, 1958, the bodies of the Kennedy brothers were found in woods near where they disappeared. The bodies of the Kennedy brothers were in a terrible state of mutilation. Barry had suffered a fatal stab wound to the chest, and Brian had suffered multiple blows to the head. No evidence of a killer was found, and no one was arrested in connection with the crime. Since then, many theories have emerged about the cause of the Kennedy brothers' death. Some people believe she was killed by a predator, while others believe she was killed by someone she knew. There are also some theories that suggest the Kennedy brothers were murdered by a supernatural entity. In 2007, a new investigation into the deaths of the Kennedy brothers was conducted by a team of psychic astronomers. The team conducted light and sound studies in the forest and claimed to have recorded evidence of the presence of a supernatural entity. There is no scientific evidence to support the presence of a supernatural entity in the forest. However, persistent theories about the deaths of the Kennedy brothers make the forest a popular destination for thrill-seeking tourists. The story of the Kennedy brothers remains mysterious and unsolved. The cause of their death may forever remain a mystery. Box Girl is a true story about a young girl in the United States who was found hidden in a box for 10 years. She was kidnapped when she was 3 years old and kept in a small box in her kidnapper's home. She managed to escape in 2009, and since then, her story has become a well-known one. Kidnapping by a man named Cameron Hooker and his wife, Janice Hooker. Cameron Hooker worked in a lumber mill in California, and Janice Hooker was a homemaker. On August 19, 1999, Quinn was playing near her home in Red Bluff, California, when Cameron Hooker approached her and offered her a ride in his truck. Quinn agreed, and Cameron took her to his house. At home, Cameron Hooker tied Quinn up and put her in a small wooden box. The box was too small for her to sit or stand and was only about 3 feet high. Quinn was kept in the box for 10 years, unable to see or speak to anyone else. Find Quinn. On August 14, 2009, Quinn managed to escape from Cameron Hooker's home. She was 13 years old at the time. That day, Quinn was outside playing when she saw a man driving a car. She asked him for help, and he took her to the police. Investigation. After Quinn was found, police opened an investigation into her kidnapping. Cameron Hooker and his wife, Janice Hooker, admitted to kidnapping Quinn and keeping her in the box. In 2010, Cameron Hooker and his wife, Janice Hooker, were convicted of kidnapping and harming Quinn. Cameron Hooker was sentenced to life in prison, and Janice Hooker was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Life after the kidnapping. After being found, Quinn received psychotherapy to help deal with her experience. If you want to know more, read her book,